Hello, welcome back to another video. I am Julia. I am joined by Luna today. I don't know how long she will stay in the shot for this video, but she's here for now, my co-host for today. Today is a reading wrap up. We are doing June, July, August, and September. A lot to get through. Actually, not really, because those are kind of my slow months of reading the summer, just because I'm doing so many other things, like my family's around more, we have more stuff planned. I just naturally do not read as much in the summer. It's always been like that. And then winter is really my heavy time because you're stuck inside. There's a lot of football and sports that I don't necessarily care about. There's a lot of I don't know, just downtime. I feel like more. It's so cozy to get a book and read, and I don't know, I just love that vibe. So winter is definitely my heavy months. So total for those 4 months, I read 16 books. Of the 16, I only read 2 in June, and technically it's only one because one I actually finished in May, but I did not put in my May reading wrap up because I forgot. So I'm putting it in this one and just saying I finished it in June. I finished it on May 30th, so very close to June, but not quite. But the first one is Reality Check, Making the Best of the Situation by Mike Sorrentino, also known as The Situation from Jersey Shore. I talked about this in my vlog a little bit. It's a memoir of his. He was on the hit reality TV show Jersey Shore. I watched that a lot growing up. My sister and I both loved it, so it was definitely a moment. And then since then, we have rewatched it a bunch of times. We've watched Family Vacation on and off. I literally own a t-shirt that my sister gave me for, I think, Christmas or maybe my birthday, but it's Free the Sitch when he was in jail, and it's from his t-shirt company, and it's the picture of him when he's in the neck brace when he hurt his neck in Jersey Shore, season 3, when they were in Italy. Yeah, I think that's season 3. Or no, that's season 4, whatever. Anyways, so this book was really good. I gave it 3.5 stars. I personally knew a lot that happened in this book because I've seen a lot of interviews. I've followed him a lot. But I think if you only watched Jersey Shore way back in the day and then now didn't really know everything that's happened with him going to jail and getting sober, I feel like this book would be really, really, really good. I think it was a good memoir. I already knew a lot of the stuff, so it wasn't as attention grabbing, I feel like, to me. And also, if you know the situation, he talks the exact same way. I know he has a ghostwriter for this. I'm not going to pretend he doesn't, but the voice of him, I think, really comes through, which I just think is really impressive and hard to do sometimes in memoirs, making it feel like actually the person that it's supposed to be about. And I think Mike and the ghostwriter did a very good job at that. Next and last book of June, aka also the only book I actually did read in June, was Falling for Gage by Mia Sheridan, which is the third in the Pelion Lake series, and I finished it June 26th. I didn't say that. Oh no, I did say when I finished the other book. Whatever. I gave it 3 stars. I read this one on vacation too, which was very fun. I liked this book. Mia Sheridan wrote Archer's Voice, which I loved. I read that years ago, and I really, really liked that book. And then I just never picked up another Mia Sheridan. I have no idea why. And I picked up this one literally randomly at my half-price bookstore. They had this one, and I was like, oh, great, I'm going to read that. And I did not realize it was a third in the series, and I feel like it very much, I should have read the series. Not that I felt like I couldn't have read it standalone. I think it was fine. I just didn't know these characters. And I think if I knew the characters, I would have liked it even more. I always suggest reading the series first. So, and then the book in general was just kind of about Gage is this perfect guy. He comes from a very wealthy family, and he has all the things going for him, but he just doesn't want to settle down slash found that person. He kind of wants to. He just hasn't found the person that he wants to settle down with. And then on the other side, I don't remember her name, but she is comes from a poor family, and she just feels this pull to his town, and she doesn't know why, so she kind of goes there to investigate stuff about her mom, and then they kind of join up in that process. And it's cute, it's good. I feel like it's a fun read. It wasn't earth shattering, but again, I should try to read the other books in the series. July, I did one better than June, and I read 3 books. So exciting, be happy. And I read some bangers, some real hits in July. So the first book I had was Off the Grid, the first in the Full Throttle series by Bromberg. I don't know why I messed that up. I finished it July 20th, and I gave it 5 frickin' stars. This book is so good. I'm not going to go like super into it because I made a whole series video about the Full Throttle series, which I will link below. But this one was my favorite of the whole series. It was so good. I wasn't expecting it. I wanted an F1 series, and I literally looked up F1, and I found this one, and it sounded good. It didn't sound like amazing, and I was blown out of the water. The setup is he is in F2 currently, wanting to go to F1, and no one really wants to take a chance on him. His dad was an F1 driver, and he was really like impulsive and risky, and that actually ended up at a terrible accident that caused his death, and that really impacts him, and he wants to be a driver too like his dad, but no one takes him seriously because they think he's gonna end up like his dad. And then a team finally takes a chance on him, and then on the flip side, our female main character, she is the owners of I don't remember what one it is, but it's the owner of, oh, Walgreens is calling me, fun. I'm filming a video. The owner of one of the F1 teams, she is his daughter, and he wants her to take over the company, and she doesn't really want to, but he wants her to, and then they meet because he's a new driver on her team, and she's the new, like, kind of owner of the team, so it's like, that's the dynamic, and it's kind of like enemies to lovers. It's not like enemies, I mean, they don't, like, hate each other, it's just, like, not friends, you know? Next book was Happy Place by Emily Henry, which I finished July 27th, and I gave 3.75 stars. This one was super fun for a multitude of reasons. If you didn't know, Emily Henry is from Cincinnati, as am moi, and then also it was fun because this was on my boyfriend's family vacation that I was on, and my boyfriend's sister-in-law also had the same book, just like by happenstance, so we read it at the same time, and my sister had also read it, and my sister-in-law had also read it, so there was like a bunch of people who have read this book, which doesn't happen a lot for me, like in person. Like my friends and family don't really necessarily like romance books a lot, so I don't always have that to talk about, so I was really, really happy to like have people to talk to about it. I always love Emily Henry. I think she has like just such classics in the romance genre at this point, and I think this one was good. It wasn't my favorite. It's like lake house vibes. I liked the vibes of it, it felt very like East Coast lake house rich vibe. I liked the vibe. It didn't hit with me as hard as Book Lovers and Beach Read did. Personally, those are my two favorites, but it was still a very enjoyable read. I really liked it. I will say my family members and friends did not like it as much as I did. A lot of them didn't really like it. To be fair, they're not romance readers, and a lot of them were annoyed by some of the romance aspects, which I was like, well, you're gonna get that in the romance, but just interesting. Next one is On the Edge, which is Full Throttle number 2, also by K. Bromberg. I finished this July 29th, and I gave it 3.75 stars. And I really, really, really liked this one. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into it because you can watch the video, but it was really, really good. It is fake dating, which I'm just a sucker for every single time. I think I've realized that is my favorite, like, trope, like, actual, like, trope. Because I don't consider, I mean, I guess, like, Grumpy Sunshine is a trope, but, like, it's not the situation. I don't know. That's my favorite situation. You know what I mean? So good. Hits every single time. And this book was no exception. It was really good. It was like he's a playboy and a partier, and he needs to look more settled down to get this, like, huge, huge deal. And she works at the company, and they run into each other, and she's kind of bored with her life. And they strike up the deal that they will be fake dating to clean up his image, and then she gets excitement, and it's gonna, like, help her in her job, and it's really cute and really, really good, and I really, really liked it. August, we are picking up steam again. I got 7 books in August that I finished. The first one being Settling the Score, The Summer Games #1 by R.S. Gray. I finished this August 5th, and I gave it a whole whopping 1 star. This book was really, really bad. I won't go too terribly deep into it. I read it because it's about the Olympics. That's Luna. Thank you, co-host. I also felt that way reading it. She sighed, if you couldn't hear. But it's about the Summer Olympic Games, which this is when the actual Summer Olympic Games were happening. So I was very much like, I need some romance book based in the Olympics, which I will get to. There's not that much, but there's a better one after this one. But anyways, I digress. I was trying to find one, and this is the one that people kept saying, like, it's so good, it's so good. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. And it was so bad. It was between a US soccer player and a British swimmer. And it wasn't my cup of tea. It was very bad for me. There was a second in the series that I had already gotten, and I literally did not read because I could not even like stomach it. And the reviews, that one got even worse reviews. So I was like, if I hated this one, I can't give it 0 stars. So drop that one. Bad start to the month of August. But then we had an oh so good book. Oh my gosh, my voice. We had an oh so good book with Starting Line by Michae Marie. I finished this on August 7th and I gave it 4 stars. It was so good. So again, I'm coming off the Olympics. Well, the Olympics were still happening. And I wanted another book that was like actually Olympics and actually good. And I did even more research. This book had like just come out, like I think like a month before this or something. And I bought it right away, which I rarely do. I usually get it through the library and stuff. But I was like, I need it. And it was a U.S. gymnast and a U.S. swimmer. And so good. It was so good. I loved it. It didn't take place like all at the games, but it was like leading up to the games, which I was perfectly fine with. I feel like it was still Olympic-esque and what I was looking for, but it was a really great story. It's basically like they both are training in the same place and live in the same apartment complex. And he is like the bad boy of swimming, they call him, and just the bad boy of the Olympics in general. Like his dad was a swimmer and he's just kind of thinks he's better than everyone else and he always beats everyone. So he's like, yeah, but I put my money where my mouth is. And then she is like the good girl of gymnastics, and they call her the golden girl because she won gold at the last Olympics and she was just very sweet and like golden personality and all of that. And then this is it's his third Olympics, I believe, and her second Olympics. And they meet like months before the Olympics and start this like friendship because she doesn't really have a lot of friends because she's so dedicated to gymnastics. And then he's like, that's not a way to live. Like my dad always really emphasized having friends and having like adventures and stuff. So you need that too. And he kind of like takes her under his wing. And I just love the story. I honestly will probably reread it a lot because I think it just is one of those books that has longevity and has a distinct voice and distinct moments. Like I can recall so many moments in the book and so many of the things the characters like do. And I feel like that's when it's a really good book because it like really, really sticks in my head. So I would really recommend this book. The Olympics are over, but that doesn't mean you can't reminisce on the great Summer Olympics. Next we had Over the Limit, Full Throttle #3 by K. Bromberg. I finished this August 13th and I gave it 3 stars. This one was okay. I think it was my most like of the series. It just didn't have the like It is basically teammates, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, and it's okay. I just feel like the characters are boring and the conflict I feel like was so stupid. So then it was like the whole book, the stakes didn't feel high because they were acting like the stakes were so high, but I was like, but they're not. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like what they were trying to make it seem. So I feel like it just made me kind of like disconnect from the book. Still good, still got 3 stars, but not anything like insane. This one was The Wrong Mr. Right. It is the second in the Queen's Cove series by Stephanie Archer. I finished this August 14th and I gave it a 3.75. I did know this was the second in the series. I looked at the series and this was the only one that I thought looked good. So I proceeded with it and Steph Bohr said she liked this one. So I was like, okay, well, I trust her. So let's try it. And it was really, really good. It's a very good summer read to read because it's like surfing and summer vibes and all of that good stuff. He is a surfer that's trying to go pro, and this is like a small town romance too. She owns the bookstore. It was her mom's bookstore, and she really, really loves reading and loves doing all of that. And she decides though she is turning 30 question mark or some age like that. and she decides that she hasn't like lived enough, so and she wants to be like a confident girl is what she always like calls herself. She wants to become that, where like you can just walk in the room and you recognize that that girl's confident and knows who she is and everything. So she enlists, I don't know his name, enlists him to help her become that confident girl because he's a confident guy and like the most popular guy in the town. So they start doing like little tasks and little like funny things, and then obviously through the way then they become good friends and start becoming more. And I think it was really, really sweet. Again, I think it had a really fun summer aspect. I always love sports romances when they're not an obvious sport, like I mean hockey or football. I mean, I love those too, but I think sometimes it's really fun to read about a sport that I don't get to see a lot. Surfing. I think surfing is so sick. I watched it at the Olympics. I think it's so cool. I don't know a lot about it, but it's so cool to read a romance that's like around a sport that you don't get to see as much. I just love that. I think it's so fun. So that was a really fun aspect, and I just think it was nice and sweet. What I read was Broken Boys Can't Love, which is the fifth in the Boys series by Micalea Smeltzer. And I finished this August 19th, and I gave it a 2.75. I have read all of the other books in the Boys series. It's one of those where it's like I'm keeping up with it kind of as it comes out, which is not my preferred method. There are a lot of really, really good book series I've heard about that I have not started because I know personally I like it so much better when I can read like 4 or 5 books in a row in the same universe. I think it makes it a better experience to me than when I read like 1 or 2 and then I have to wait a super long time and then I don't remember everyone, and I just never feel like it hits as hard. So there are books that I've been waiting on to read just so the series can like finish. Sometimes to my detriment because sometimes I'm super jealous because I want to read it and everyone's talking about it and I'm not reading it when everyone's talking about it, but whatever. This was one of the ones where I've been keeping up with the series, and I was really excited about this book. I remember I read the 4th book way before this, but I remember the couple was like hinted at a lot in this. It is brother's best friend, and the boy is very like damaged and he's broken boys can't love and all of this stuff, and then she's like the sweet sunshine girl that comes in, and I do think it's really sweet. I don't remember why I gave it a 2.75, but usually that means it's like it was good but it didn't hit super hard. Like I liked the setup but it didn't deliver. Next, we have the 6th book in the same series, Rule Breakers Fall Hardest. I finished this August 21st, and I gave it 2.5 stars, also by Micalea Smeltzer. This one is childhood friends to enemies to lovers, which is never usually my super jam, but it is like they were like really close, and then a stupid thing happened, and they're no longer friends, and now they're like, she hates him. He I guess like also hates her. I don't know. I feel like he just doesn't really care. I feel like it's more like apathy more than hatred. And then he's in a tight jam and asks her to marry him so that he can. Well, I guess it's revealed. Well, okay. I guess I'll just keep it mysterious so I don't spoil anything. But so it's a marriage of convenience, and they're stuck together in all of this. I don't know. Micalea Smeltzer's book have never like hit super hard to me. She also has the like Confidence of Wildflowers, and I did not like that duet series. I thought it was really, really bad. So I feel like it's always like I like the idea of her books. I just don't personally connect with her books a lot. I will probably finish the Boy series just because I'm like far in at this point and they're like pretty good books, but I just feel like I never rank them that high because they just don't sit with me super well. Last book of August, we have a kind of fun one. It is the Rebound play, which is the first in the Love on Thin Ice series by Kate O'Keefe. And I finished it August 26th, and I gave it 1 star. That's not why it's exciting. It's exciting because it's my first ARC, or advanced reader copy, I've ever received. I applied through NetGalley, which is like a way smaller book people like me can ask for ARCs. And I wasn't really expecting anything, and then they said yes. They were the first one that said yes to me, so like that was really, 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 really cool to me because I got that book before it came out, and I got it for free, and I got to read it, and I got to send in my review, and it was really cool, and I'll forever be very thankful for that. I have since gotten 2 more ones, which I'm so excited to talk about more later. I talked about them a little bit in my vlogs and stuff, but I'll probably talk about them more later. But This one is the story of an NFL player who comes from a small town, and then he comes back to the small town years later when he's hurt, and like taking a break, and he's teaching the like kids team there, and his high school sweetheart still lives there, and they start reconnecting and sparks flying and all of that. I personally just felt like it was very basic. I don't know, like very not, I don't know, it wasn't exciting. It felt like a romance novel I've read 18 times and then put into chat GPT, and like this is what they came up with. Like it just wasn't new or original in any way. I felt like I didn't connect with the characters at all. I just felt like the tropes and a lot of the situations were like very cliche, which I don't feel like most of romance novels are. I know a lot of people would definitely disagree with me on that, but I think there's a way to take something that's been done a lot of times, make it like distinctly yours. And I just didn't feel like that with this book, and I just didn't really connect with it personally, but I'm very thankful for it. Now we're coming up on September, the last month that will be included in this reading wrap up. And I read 4 books in September. The first being Out of Control, the 4th in the Full Throttle series by K. Bromberg. And I finished it September 9th, and I gave it 3.75 stars. And I liked this one. It was set up in the previous book, book 3, and I feel like the couple was really cute. It was like forbidden because her brother is teammates with him, and her brother also like dislikes him a lot. So I feel like that gave it a fun aspect. I feel like it was just a really easy book to get through that I really enjoyed. Okay, and I know this is annoying, but the next 3 books I am going to keep hidden for now because I'm planning a really, really fun sit-down video, and it's a big series, and I think it'll be really, really fun, and I want to keep it a surprise until it comes out, and I I don't know, I'm just really excited about it, and I really want to keep it a surprise. So I know that's stupid because I'm doing a reading wrap up and then not talking about every book I read, but I will give you what I have rated them because that's something. So the first book of this series, I finished September 15th and I gave 3 stars. Next one, I finished October 3rd. Oh, I guess these are October now. So never mind. There was only 1 in September that I even read. Wait, is that true? Oh, there's 2 in September. Okay, well then I lied. But I guess we'll go through October because it's halfway through October anyways. And then I read October 3rd and I gave 3 stars, and then October 6th and I gave 2.5 stars. So yeah, thank you for coming along with me and going through all these books. I always think it's so fun. Like I said, I don't have a lot of like friends and families that read romance books, so I just love getting to talk to you guys about it and suggesting the ones, and even just talking about books but that I read and were part of my journey. And I'm thankful for every book that I can read because I don't know, I just am so lucky I get to read so many romance books, and I get to do that and talk about them with you and everything. So I feel very blessed, and thank you for watching this video. I hope you got a new book to read. It should be Starting Line or the first in the Full Throttle series, just saying. Personally, I think that's what you should pick. But yeah, thank you so much. You are beautiful, kind, lovely, talented. Luna, do you have anything to say? She said beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.